13 affordable new houses will soon be built in South Anniston.
Afternoon showers and thunderstorms continue for the rest of the work week across East Alabama. We'll have the complete forecast details coming up.
Jacksonville State had their first scrimmage of the fall. We'll hear from Rich Rod and players coming up in sports. EAN Local News starts now.
This segment of EAN Local News is brought to you by Waldrop Manufacturing, metal buildings made right here in Calhoun County.
Good evening, and thank you for watching East Alabama Now Local News for Monday, August 7th, 2023. I'm Katie Edwards.
And I'm Mike Stedham.
City officials announced this morning that Anniston and its housing authority have received a federal grant of more than $1,454,000 to construct 13 affordable housing units on Allen Avenue. In addition to covering the construction cost, this grant will also be channeled into the community through a partnership with a community enabler developer. The money will provide an array of services, including monthly rental assistance, rental security deposits, and utility deposits. The city hopes the grant money will empower individuals and families by giving them a fresh start and preventing the cycle of homelessness.
Anniston's Community Development Coordinator, Alisa James, says the city is committed to not only building homes, but also building futures. The grant is coming from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development through its Home Investment Partnership, American Rescue Plan. The goal of this plan is to create inclusive, compassionate, and thriving communities across the country.
When we return, we'll tell you about an international piano competition being held this week in Oxford.
Well, my name is Mike Craven, and we recently purchased an open carport, metal carport from a Waldrop manufacturer. I have an extra car. We have a very small home, very small driveway, and I needed somewhere just to park another vehicle, just out of the weather. And I had been told by 2 or 3 friends that knew we had recently remodeled a home that Waldrops were the people that you need to go talk to. I was in that area one day and I thought, hey, I'll just stop in, and I did without calling, and greeted warmly, well taken care of. It was just, really the whole process was just good from day one.
WM Grocery, located in Heflin, Wadowee, Roanoke, and in Piedmont.
For the 18 contestants in the second annual Rubato Piano Competition being held at the Oxford Performing Arts Center this week, today marks the beginning of a very special week. Those pianists, who come from across the United States and 8 other countries, will be practicing, attending workshops, and preparing for the semifinal competitions that will begin Thursday night. Julio Barreto, OPAC's Music Education Director, says the competition is unique because it features both jazz and classical categories. In fact, the event is named after a musical term that's used in both styles of playing.
Well, actually, we were looking for a musical term to name our competition, not after a name or specific place, right? Because we wanted to go international as quick as possible. So rubato is one of those musical terms that apply for both classical and jazz music. Rubato is a technique and I'll say musical gesture that is part of almost any kind of music that we hear and listen to. From a flamenco Spanish guitarist to Chick Corea or Bill Evans or Louis Armstrong, all the way to composers like Chopin, Rachmaninoff, or Mozart, you know. That's the reason why we picked a specific term that belongs to all realms of musical styles and genres, honestly.
Moretto says the competition will be awarding $50,000 in prizes to the winners, which is twice what was offered at the inaugural program. He says the musicians who took part in last year's competition have already benefited from the exposure it gave them.
They all are sharing the news with me, and some of them have applied for music scholarships and programs and schools like Juilliard, Manhattan School of Music, Jacobs School of Music in Indiana, some Texas A&M, University of North Texas, and I'm aware of this because they contact me for reference letters. But also, since they were part of Rubato, even though they were not medalists or won a prize last year, they have in their resume that they took a masterclass or 6-time with Hall of Fame artists. And that is a game changer for them to open new doors.
Tickets are still available for the semifinals, which will be held Thursday and Friday night starting at 6:30, and for the grand finale next Saturday at 6:30 p.m. To purchase tickets, go to rubatopiano.org. When we come back, we'll tell you about a new business that has just opened in Wedowee.
Since 1993, WM Grocery has been a major part of our local community. WM offers the very best in fresh produce and an outstanding meat department. WM also has many local products not found anywhere else and fresh sushi every day. If you need an event catered, come see Mrs. K at any WM store. Curbside pickup is also available for your online grocery orders. Be sure to download the WM app for all the deals of the week and shopper rewards. Go check them out today at any of their locations.
We take pride in our community and appreciate your business.
This segment of EAN Local News is brought to you by Oxford Lumber. Come visit any of our locations in Oxford, Jacksonville, Talladega, and Roanoke.
Anchor is a locally owned retail store that has just had its grand opening in Wedowee. Joy Brooks, the owner of the new store, talked with EAN News about the business.
I started in 2014 with Lemonade, just a handmade jewelry company, and God has graciously allowed me this opportunity, and I'm so excited. We are located in the heart of beautiful downtown Wedowee, 106 Main Street South, right next to Wake and Shake Donut Shop. So you can come and shop and go next door and get a donut and a shake.
Brooks says her new store offers a variety of merchandise while maintaining a small town style of customer service.
We are a retail gift shop with a little bit of something for everybody. We have men's gifts, women's gifts, jewelry, of course, home decor, some gourmet food items, even some things you can register for, brides.
Well, Katie, it gets really hot and then it gets really stormy. Some pretty scary stuff going on.
Absolutely. Let's check with John Holder, who joins us now in the EAN Weather Center for more information on our local weather. John?
Mike and Katie, showers and thunderstorms again today across East Alabama, and those promise to continue for the foreseeable future. We'll have the complete forecast for all of East Alabama next.
For over 60 years, Oxford Lumber has been servicing our area, and our customer service has always been our main focus. Our customer service is what sets us apart from anyone else. From the moment you enter, our highly trained staff will treat you like family.
To enthusiastically provide total customer satisfaction within a positive and self-fulfilling employee relations environment. Visit us at any of our 4 locations or at oxfordlumber.com.
Before the storms hit this afternoon across East Alabama, temperatures soaring. 95 for the high today, well above the average. We had heat index values around lunchtime today that were in the 105 to 106 category. That's why we had the heat advisory. 70 for the low, record high temperature 101, and the record low at 56. And the days continue to get shorter. The sunrise tomorrow morning now after 6 o'clock at 6:01, with a sunset this evening at 7:37. Weather on your street for your Monday night. Evening storms, those will begin to fade away with the heating of the day. If you're out on Hollingsworth Drive in Reeds Mill, it's going to be kind of stormy out there, especially early on, but we think those storms will fade away. 69 for the low overnight tonight. On your Tuesday, couple of themes here. One, we're still going to have afternoon storms, but not as hot down on Q Pass and Coldwater. That was an area that was hit on Sunday with a tremendous amount of damage. Lots of tree and power line damage out there from straight line winds on Sunday afternoon. The cleanup will continue out in Coldwater, and those folks will be thankful that we're only going to see 88 for the high. That's about 6 to 8 degrees below where we were today, and that's below normal for this time of year across East Alabama to help with the cleanup out in Coldwater. As we look at the rest of the week coming up, sun and afternoon storms, Rolling Green Drive out in Chakawaka. Going to be looking at temperatures in the low 90s, about 90 to 91. That's about where we should be for the early part of August in Alabama. And that's exactly where we will be for Chakawaka and Rolling Green Drive, with those sunshine in the morning and afternoon in the storm kind of days coming up. The 7-day forecast looking like this. You see that 88-degree temperature tomorrow. That will actually be the coolest day. Still a 50-50 chance of pop-up afternoon showers and thunderstorms. But we think the severe threat tomorrow shifts into South Alabama, so we don't think we'll have the strong to severe thunderstorms here in the north half of the state. And for the rest of the work week, basically back to more typical summertime weather. Late afternoon, early evening, scattered showers and thunderstorms with the heating of the day. We'll have temperatures in the low 90s, nighttime lows in the low 70s, and the average is about 50% for the rest of the work week as far as rain chances go. Toward the weekend, tapering off to about 30%. Well, the Storm Prediction Center out in Norman, Oklahoma, this is what they have out for today and tonight. And you see a huge enhanced risk. This is really rare for us in the South to see this kind of setup for severe weather. Big, large area of enhanced risk all the way into the Carolinas, most of Georgia, the northeastern quarter of the state of Alabama, most of East Tennessee as well. I think that verified today. We had a number of severe thunderstorm warnings all across East Alabama today. We expect more of those as we head into the evening hours as well, but things will settle down beginning tomorrow. Coming up in sports, Chase Robinson going to talk about Jack State football and their scrimmage. Chase?
Thanks, John. With 19 days until Jacksonville State takes the field in their Week 0 opener, they took the field in their first scrimmage of the fall on Saturday. This gave the coaches an opportunity to see the players in more of a live action setting, and they were able to get a better idea of where the team is at a week and a half into fall camp. Rich Rod talked after the scrimmage about what they learned from the team.
Well, I thought we didn't quite move around as quickly as we needed to. It was a little warmer. Being on the turf, it's probably about 10, 15 degrees hotter. And that may have something to do with it. But, I think we got some good film in, can evaluate a little bit. We got a lot of young guys that we got to count on. They got to get a whole lot better. And I'm not panicking right now. We got 3 weeks, so we'll see how much improvement we make in a week.
The Gamecocks offense is going into their second season with Rich Rod and his offensive system. Zion Webb, who returns for his 7th season at quarterback, talks about what he saw from the offense in the scrimmage.
Like I was just telling one of my guys, it's much slower for me. Just me understanding the game, understanding the offense, and knowing where I got to go with the ball. So it gives me a lot of confidence, and then I can tell those guys and help them understand where they got to be and to help the team out.
On the defensive side of the ball, the Gamecocks return a lot of guys, but also do have some new faces. One thing that will help the defense and the tempo that they are expected to perform at is knowing what to expect going into year 2.
Knowing what to expect, it helps because we know we can't complain about really the tempo, and also over the summer we prepared the new guys for how the tempo would be because last summer we really couldn't expect, we couldn't prepare for what was coming in the season, but now the new guys they were pretty much ready for the tempo. And it's just a lot of, and having a lot of people back, we got a lot of people that can help in the different rooms other than the coaches.
We continue our high school football previews as we spotlight the Weaver Bearcats. Ken Kofer heads into year 1 leading the Weaver Bearcats program. Kofer was hired in June, so had a little bit of a late start in working with the guys. Coach Kofer talked with EAN Sports at Calhoun County Media Day about the transition and how the staff has helped him make it smooth.
Usually transition can be very hard, especially when you're getting a job in June, and they have made it smooth. I mean, we have the head wrestling coach, head basketball, and head baseball coaches on the staff too, and they're bought into Weaver High School, period. Doesn't matter the sport. And we got some others that are assistants too that are going to be head coaches later on. Done a great job, and it's made my job a lot easier.
One thing Coach Kofer is looking to be a focus at Weaver is the importance of the weight room. Since taking over the program in June, Kofer has seen the players take strides in learning the weight room and its importance to success.
Weight room has been big, and they're getting adjusted on that, so that's huge. It's kind of fast. Everything's kind of rolling. It's a whole different offensive scheme, whole different defensive scheme, and then work ethic is going to be different. Every coach has their way of working kids and stuff like that, but our weight room stuff is pretty fast. They have to learn on the run, but we're using great technique, and we've already had some big jumps in the weight room in 2 months, and that's been huge. And just had make-up workouts this morning, and got some kids that don't even have to make up, but they're coming back just to get extra work in. So that's what we're looking for.
With only a handful of seniors on the Weaver football team this fall, Coach Kofer has a chance to work with the younger guys to build up the Bearcats football for the future. And Coach Kofer says it starts with accountability.
We had an episode where if they didn't line up right during conditioning one time, if they went past the line when they were lining up, or they didn't run full speed, they had to do it over. Well, our younger kids only had to do 2 over. our older kids, our juniors and seniors, had to do 6 over. Well, that tells me that, those younger kids have kind of bought in a little bit sooner because you've gotten them at a younger age. And these older kids are going to have to get right back to where they're supposed to be. Again, every coach has their standards of where they're supposed to be and what you let people get away with maybe, or how you handle things. So we're holding everybody accountable, and the whole coaching staff is. That's what's been positive.
The Weaver Bearcats will open the season week 0 as they go on the road to take on the Donahoe Falcons. And that's it for sports. Let's send it back over to Mike and Katie.
Thank you for watching East Alabama Now Local News.
You can find us right here online every weekday evening starting around 6:30 on either Facebook or YouTube. Just go to our video feed and watch the news whenever it's convenient for you.
And we'll see you back here Tuesday for your news on your schedule.